Hi, welcome to our channel of IGNOU Audiobooks, Indira Gandhi National Open University, School of Interdisciplinary and Transdisciplinary Studies, SOTS, Certificate Postgraduate Certificate Programs, Postgraduate Certificate in Climate Change, PGCCC, MEV 0 to 4 Climate Change Assessment Tools, Block 1 Vulnerability Assessment, Unit 2 Methodology for Computing Vulnerability Index, 2.1 Introduction. We have studied in various units that people and places are differentially vulnerable to climate change. Some people and places are less vulnerable, whereas some other people and places are more vulnerable. But have you ever thought that how does scientists and researchers derive such conclusion? There are various methods and techniques through which researchers arrive at such conclusion. One should remember that such methods and techniques should be scientifically correct. Vulnerability assessment through indexing methods have gained popularity for measuring different dimensions of human life or associated phenomenon on the earth. Can you recall some of these indices? Some of the very popular indices are Human Development Index, HDI, Human Poverty Index, HPI, Gender Development Index, GDI, Sustainable Development Index, SDI, and Physical Quality of Life Index, PQLI, etc. Climate Change Vulnerability Index is also one such example. In this unit, we shall define vulnerability to climate change as this is the first prerequisite for construction of index. We will also discuss about the indicator approach and how the indicators can be chosen under the various dimensions of vulnerability, i.e. exposure, sensitivity, and adaptive capacity. Finally, we will also discuss in detail about various steps involved in the construction of climate change vulnerability index. To point to objectives, after studying this unit, you should be able to explain the concept of vulnerability, explain the indicator-based approach, and describe various steps involved in the construction of climate change vulnerability index. 2.3 Defining vulnerability to climate change. You have already read about different aspects of vulnerability in various units of this course as well as program. The concept of vulnerability is frequently used by scholars from different communities, namely academia, disaster management, and development agencies, and climate change with different meanings. It has also been used in various disciplines of studies, namely economics, geography, anthropology, psychology, sociology, environmental sciences, and engineering. Therefore, it is essential to discuss about the concept and definitions of vulnerability before construction of any index based on it. Vulnerability as a concept appeared into the debate amongst scholars working in field of developmental studies since 1990s. Chambers, 1994. In climate change literature, numerous definitions of vulnerability are there, but a difficulty exists to build consensus amongst the scholars for the exact characterization of vulnerability. When we talk about vulnerability, it communicates us an idea of propensity to harm or damage, but most of the academic discussions have been focusing upon the mechanism for characterizing vulnerability in theory as well as in practice. Vulnerability means not lack or want but defenselessness, insecurity, and exposure to risks, shocks, and stress. Chambers, 1989, 1. Vulnerability has two sides: an external side of risks, shocks, and stress to which an individual or household is subjected to, and an internal side which is defenselessness, meaning a lack of means to cope without damaging loss. Watts and Bohle, 1994, have further conceptualized the idea propounded by Chambers. The scholars expressed that the concept of vulnerability has multidimensional and is governed by factors or capabilities of people to influence political, economic, and institutional capacities. Bohle, 1994. While reviewing the concept of vulnerability, Ager, 2006, states that it is only in the area of human-environment relationships that vulnerability has common, though contested meaning. Human geography and human ecology have, in particular, theorized vulnerability to environmental change. Both of these disciplines have made contributions to the present understanding of social ecological systems. While related insights into entitlements grounded vulnerability analysis in theories of social change and decision making, Ager, 2006 to 69. There has been emergence of substantial number of definitions on vulnerability during the last 3 decades. To name significant contributors to the development of the concept of vulnerability includes scholars like Ager, Burley, Cutter, Downing, Kaspersons, Moss, Turner and Wisner, Cutter, 1996, Ager, 2006, De Leon, 2006, Jana, Mohapatra, Gupta, 2017. When we consider the context of hazard and disaster that are also being influenced by climate change, the definition given by the International Strategy for Disaster Reduction (ISDR) becomes significant, which states as the set of conditions and processes resulting from physical, social, economic and environmental factors which increase the susceptibility of a community to the impact of hazards. ISDR 2004-16. Paling 2003 has defined vulnerability as the exposure to risk and an inability to avoid or absorb potential harm. The concept of vulnerability, therefore, has gained momentum from the ongoing climate change research, as most of the scholars are interested to examine it from different perspectives, region, sector, social groups and ecosystems, etc. The Third Assessment Report, AR3, of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, has given formal definition and methodology to assess it empirically. According to AR3 of IPCC, 2001, vulnerability is the degree to which a system is susceptible to and unable to cope with adverse effects of climate change, including climate variability and extremes. Vulnerability is a function of the character, magnitude, and rate of climate change and variation to which a system is exposed, its sensitivity, and its adaptive capacity. IPCC 2001 995. Through above definition, vulnerability can be understood as the extent to which a natural or social system is susceptible to sustaining damage from climate change. Thus, it is the function of 3 factors, i.e., the sensitivity, adaptive capacity, and the degree of the exposure of the system to climatic hazards. IPCC 2001. In the context of sustainability science, Turner has defined vulnerability as the degree to which a system, subsystem, or system component is likely to experience harm due to exposure to a hazard, either to a perturbation or stressors. Turner et al., 2003, 8074. From above discussion, it can be seen that vulnerability connotes different meanings across academic disciplines. The concept of vulnerability has been gradually developed over the years from a one-dimensional concept, internal risk factor, to a multi-structural and multidimensional concept embracing up on diversified features including social, economic, physical, environmental and institutional premises which can be understood from the Figure 2.1, Fig. 2.1, widening of the spheres of vulnerability. Look at the screen. The characteristics of vulnerability which need to be explained are its context, specificity, and dynamic nature. Vulnerability is highly contextual. Brooks et al., 2005, Fussell, 2010. The other character of the vulnerability is its dynamic nature. The level of vulnerability may changes in instances of any alteration in either biophysical or socioeconomic traits of the region. Cutter et al., 2009, Smith and Wander, 2006. The dynamic nature of vulnerability demands that the assessment must be a continuing process to highlight the spatio-temporal scale of The vulnerability of the study area or region, Lewis. 2005, Erickson and Kelly, 2007. 2.4 Assessment of vulnerability. After defining vulnerability, it is also equally necessary to understand the vulnerability of the people, which encompasses three issues as proposed by Berkman and Wisner, 2006. Z. Who is vulnerable, i.e., entity within the specific place, Z. Vulnerable to what, i.e., stimulus stress, and Z. Vulnerable with respect to what, i.e., the characteristics of the entity that make them more vulnerable. Answer to these three questions would help in contextualization of vulnerability and help the stakeholders for formulation of assessment tools and techniques. Vulnerability assessment can be narrative, quantitative, and qualitative. The methods used to assess vulnerability can be broadly classified into four types of approaches, which include indicator-based methods, model-based methods, GIS remote, sensing-based methods, and stakeholders or participatory methods. These methods have been used by researchers during the last few decades either individually or in combination according to the context and objectives of the study. Berkman, 2006, Cutter, 2005, Mathias and Paling, 2012, Wisner et al. 2003. However, the indicator-based approach is one of the most popular quantitative methods employed in vulnerability assessment both at local and global scales. The method involves assessing vulnerability through defining certain indicators which can be evaluated by aggregating them into indices or estimating their arithmetic mean. Lewis et al., 2003, Betabo et al., 2010, Apson et al., 2012. Another significant feature of this method is that it can be used to assess vulnerability at different levels or units like household, regional, district, state, or national levels. The vulnerability level is derived through the selected variables, indicators, that depicts different stressors. Thus, the indices computed can establish the relationship between the stressors causing the vulnerability. Various researchers like Apson et al., 2012, Betabo et al., 2010, Han et al., 2009, Lewis et al., 2003, Pia et al., 2015, and Tufik and Yunus, 2013 have used this method to estimate vulnerability in different ecological and sensitive zones. To name some of indices which have been widely accepted include UNDP's Disaster Risk Index, 2004, Predictive Indicators of Vulnerability, 2005, by Brooks et al., 2005, Winson's National Adaptive Capacity Index and IADB's Prevalent Vulnerability Index and Risk Management Index, 2004. Similarly, another significant index is Social Vulnerability Index, 2003, which has been propounded by Cutter et al. 2009. These indices have been used to calculate various levels of vulnerability at different scales using biophysical, socioeconomic, and climatic indicators when we discuss the vulnerability in the context of climate change. The Livelihood Vulnerability Index, LVI, by Hahn, Riederer, and Foster in 2009 needs a special mention. The researchers have collected data at household level in 2 districts of Mozambique. They have used 7 components which were assigned weights using equal weight method, and the index was computed by adopting the IPCC's definition of the vulnerability, Hahn et al., 2009. Another climate-related vulnerability of local farmers has been assessed by Dresa et al. In 2009 in 7 regions in Ethiopia by computing a vulnerability index. A large number of vulnerability assessment studies have been conducted in India at different levels. O'Brien et al., 2004, Sharma and Patwardhan, 2008, Bahinipti, 2014, Panda, 2016, Jana, Mohapatra and Gupta, 2017. In one of the study, O'Brien et al., 2004, have mapped the agricultural vulnerability in India by using the IPCC functions of vulnerability. The researchers have used several indicators, including biophysical, social, and technological ones, to construct the index. Several local case studies and mapping techniques have been combined with the indices for categorizing highly vulnerable districts. O'Brien et al. 2004. From the above discussion, it is evident that the indicator-based methods have been widely applied in the vulnerability assessments, as it can be applied at various levels as well as scales. 2.5 Construction of Climate Change Vulnerability Index. To assess vulnerability through index approach is being one of the popular methods being employed by the researchers, planners, and policy makers to measure vulnerability. In this method, few indicators or set of indicators are used which are further integrated into indices which depicts the vulnerability quantitatively. Do you know what an indicator is? In simpler terms, if we want to describe an indicator, it refers to quantitative measure intended to represent a characteristics or a parameter of a system of interest, Qatar et al. 2009, which can be depicted through a single value. The nature of indicators may either be descriptive, i.e., when some system has to be described through it, or normative, i.e., when its value can be used for evaluating the health of systems, Berger, 2006. However, each of them can have their own significance besides their face value. The relevance lies in the interpretation that can be made from the values of the indicators and how it can be related to the phenomenon which has to be observed. Many indicators have been developed which have measured vulnerability at different levels. Standard criteria for indicator development. If we analyze various standard indices developed all over the world across different scales and sectors in general, and vulnerability indices in specific, it has been commonly observed that there are certain standard criteria which have been followed for indicator development. Gallopin, 1997, 25, Berry, 1997, Hardy, 1997, 29, Paris 2000, Berkman 2004. These broader criteria are as follows: measurable, relevant, represent an issue that is important to the relevant topic; policy relevant, only measure important key elements instead of trying to indicate all aspects; analytically and statistically sound; understandable, easy to interpret; sensitivity, be sensitive and specific to the underlying phenomenon; validity, accuracy, reproducible, based on available data; data comparability, appropriate scope, cost effective. There have been many researchers who have contributed in developing various quantitative indicators for assessing vulnerability to climate change in the last 2 decades. Brenkert and Malone, 2005, Brooks et al., 2005, Diresa et al., 2009, Erickson and Kelly, 2007, Hahn et al., 2009, Moss et al., 2001, O'Brien et al., 2004, Sullivan and May, 2005. The indicator may represent characters which can be quantifiable and computable, thus it can highlight the indiscernible phenomena visible. Moss et al., 2001. However, to depict vulnerability of a particular region through aggregation of indicators into a unit-less index may be often have few challenges. Sullivan and May, 2005. At instances, the challenges may magnify, especially when the area of assessment is large, as the indicators may behave differently across spatial variations. Eakin and Lewis, 2006, Hinkle, 2011. Thus, it has been suggested to have a conceptually clear and robust methodology for identification of indicators, which has to be used in the process of assessment of vulnerability. Gallopin, 1996, Apson et al., 2012. Steps followed in the construction of index, similar to standard criteria followed for the selection of indicators. Construction of index has also followed certain standard steps in a sequential manner. Here, We will discuss the steps which have been given by Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD, in the year 2008 in their document, Handbook on Constructing Composite Indicators Methodology and User Guide. This document has attempted to resolve the debate on complex nature and to provide a broader understanding for selecting and using the indicators while constructing the composite index. They have given 10 steps, Box 2.1, which have been discussed for a better understanding of learners who may attempt to construct the vulnerability index in future. Box 2.1, steps suggested by OECD for developing indicators and indices. 1. Theoretical framework. 2. Data selection. 3. Imputation of missing data and identification of outlier. 4. Multivariate analysis. 5. Normalization of data. 6. Weighting and aggregation. 7. Uncertainty and sensitivity analysis. 8. Back to the data. 9. Links to other indicators. 10. Visualizations of the results. Source: OECD, 2008. Let us discuss the steps in brief. The first and foremost step is to have a theoretical framework which may provide a sound base for selecting and combining the different variables into an indicator which may convey a meaning under a fitness for purpose principle. The purpose of this step is to orient the researcher to comprehend and define the multidimensionality of the phenomenon which has to be studied. Once we have clarity about the theoretical framework, the next step is the collection of data. For this purpose, one has to select the indicators on the basis of their analytical soundness, ability to be measured, wider coverage, and their significance in relation to the phenomena which is being measured. We have already discussed about this in the previous section. One suggestion given by OECD was that proxy variables should be used in case there is scarcity of the data. After data collection, consideration should be given to different approaches for imputing missing values. Interpolation is one of the popular techniques for calculating the missing data within the dataset. Similarly, attention should be given for identification of extreme values. These values should be examined as they can become unintended benchmarks which can influence the final outcome that might provide an erroneous picture. That is why these extreme values are known as outliers. Subsequently, multivariate analysis should be carried out for studying the dataset in totality and to check the dimensions of the data, i.e., at individual or national level. The data needs to be normalized to bring them into a comparable scales and to make them unit-free. The process of normalization has to be adopted in consonance with the theoretical framework. The researcher has to decide the method for assigning weights or mode of aggregation taking into account the theoretical perspectives, and the correlation amongst the indicators has also to be ascertained. The next step is to analyze uncertainty and sensitivity for the indicators. This may enable to find out the robustness of the selected indicators and will give an opportunity for inclusion or exclusion of few indicators. Again, the researcher has to go back to data to determine the main drivers, i.e., whether only few indicators are dominating or different subcomponents are also contributing in the phenomena of study. The linkages have to be established through correlation and regression analysis between the composite indicators with simple indicators or its components. After obtaining the results, it has to be presented using appropriate visualization techniques which can clearly convey the message to the targeted audiences and other stakeholders. 2.6 Example for computing vulnerability index of a region to climate change. After discussing the criteria for selection of indicators and steps followed in the construction of an index, let us discuss the steps involved in computing vulnerability index through a hypothetical example. First of all, we have to identify the area where we need to assess. The area can be coastal, semi-arid, arid, mountainous, grasslands or the flood plains. Thereafter, one has to identify the factor vulnerability to what? For instance, while the coastal communities may be vulnerable to climate-related disasters like cyclone, flooding, the communities living in arid or semi-arid areas may be vulnerable to drought. The subsequent step is to decide the unit of analysis. The unit can be at district or below district level, maybe community development blocks or administrative units like tehsils or revenue villages. As explained above, the first step in construction of an index is to gain clear understanding of conceptual and theoretical perspectives. The following example exemplifies the vulnerability in the context of climate change. We have already discussed about it in the section 2.3 of this unit. The next step is selection of indicators and the data. Further, selection of indicators can be done on the basis of previous research or undertaking local consultations of experts and other stakeholders. The selection of indicators may be contextual and depends upon the nature of data, i.e., primary or secondary data source. If we follow the IPCC's functional criteria of vulnerability, i.e., exposure, sensitivity, and adaptive capacity, then we need to identify indicators under these three functions for calculating the composite index. Few sample indicators are given Table No 2.1, though they are not exhaustive. Table 2.1, List of sample indicators and their description. Look at the screen after preparation of data sheet for the selected unit area. We need to follow the following steps. Step 1. Standardization normalization of selected indicators. The indicators will have different units and scales. To bring them to a comparable level, we need to standardize them. In this example, since we have used secondary data sources, we have used the maximum-minimum method adopted from UNDP's Human Development Index, HDI, UNDP 2006. This will make the indicators free from their units and their values will lie between 0 and 1. After the process of standardization, it is important to identify the functional relationship between the indicators and vulnerability. Here it is important to understand that the functional relationship can either be positive or negative. The positive relation indicates that the vulnerability will increase with increase in the value of the indicator. The negative relation depicts, especially in adaptive capacity, that higher value may decrease the vulnerability. For normalization, we need to use different formulas considering the functional relation of the indicator. Values for all the indicators are to be standardized for all the unit area of analysis. Indicator index 9 is equal to IA, I, min, I, max, I, min. For instances with negative functional relation, indicator index 9 is equal to I, max, IA, I, max, I, min, where 9 is the standardized value for the indicator, I is the value for indicator I, max, is the maximum value for the particular indicator, I, min, is the minimum value for the indicator. Step 2. Calculation of aggregate components value in exposure, sensitivity, and adaptive capacity. There are two methods for assigning the weight of the indicators in the composite index. The first is equal weight method wherein each indicator contributes equally in the index, whereas the other is unequal weight method. In this method, the weight is assigned to the indicators using multivariate techniques like principal, component analysis or cluster analysis. Depending upon their significance or weights, the indicators contribute unequally to the composite index. Since in the hypothetical example, equal weight method has been applied, the values obtained for each indicators have been aggregated to calculate indices for exposure, sensitivity, and adaptive capacity by calculating simple averages by using the following formula. Index is equal to sum of 1x upon n, where 9 is the standardized value for the indicator. N is the number of indicators in the component. Step 3. Calculation of composite vulnerability index. Now the obtained indices from step 2 can be averaged to derive the final vulnerability index. Bettibo et al. 2010 by using the following formula. Vi is equal to IE is equal to IS is equal to IAC upon 3, where IE is exposure index, IS is sensitivity index, and IAC is adaptive capacity index. The results obtained can be visualized through tabulation and spider graphs, and the units can be ranked in order of their descending order. A sample score have been presented in the Table 2.2. Table 2.2 calculated scores for component indices and composite vulnerability index, aggregation of the study units into different categories of vulnerability, after the calculation of aggregate components value in exposure, sensitivity, and adaptive capacity and composite vulnerability index for the 14 units of study. The units were categorized into 4 groups using standard deviation, SD, as an interval from mean score. The categorizations can depict the level of vulnerability of the units and have been shown in Table 2.3. Table 2.3 Categorization of units on the basis of composite vulnerability index. Look at the screen. After computing the indices, the final step is to present the data in visual formats, like graphs, and to develop a narrative which can be supported by the data for clear communication and comprehension of stakeholders, especially the policy makers. In the present example, the existence of differential level of vulnerability within 14 unit areas needs to be explained on the basis of the data. The researcher needs to clearly reason out as to why the unit K, unit I, unit L were found to be the most vulnerable, whereas unit C, unit N were least vulnerable. This empirical hypothetical example explains that how the computation of the indices can be helpful for capturing the picture at microlevel analysis. After obtaining the results, it would be rather easy to look into the indicators and the inherent causes or reasons that are resulting in differential levels of vulnerability. It will facilitate in adopting measures through policy interventions as well as adaptations at various levels, which can enhance the adaptive capacity and thus reducing the vulnerabilities of the societies. 2.7 Summary. Vulnerability to climate change refers to the degree to which a system is susceptible to and unable to cope with adverse effects of climate change, including climate variability and extremes. Vulnerability is a function of the character, magnitude, and rate of climate change and variation to which a system is exposed, its sensitivity, and its adaptive capacity. Vulnerability has two sides: an external side of risks, shocks, and stress to which an individual or household is subjected to, and an internal side which is defenselessness, meaning a lack of means to cope without damaging loss. Vulnerability is the outcome of combined effects of 3 components. These 3 components are exposure, sensitivity, and adaptive capacity. Index approach has been one of the popular methods that have been used by many scholars for vulnerability assessment at various levels. Levels of assessment range from national to local scale. Standard criteria followed for indicator development are measurable, relevant, policy relevant, analytically and statistically sound, understandable, easy to interpret, sensitivity, be sensitive and specific to the underlying phenomenon, validity, accuracy, reproducible, data comparability, appropriate scope, and cost-effective. Construction of climate change vulnerability index generally follows some common steps. These steps are: I. Theoretical framework, 2. Data selection, 3. Imputation of missing data and identification of outlier, 4. Multivariate analysis, V. Normalization of data, 6. Discuss the presence of outliers in the dataset, 7. Uncertainty and sensitivity analysis, 8. Back to the data, 9. links to other indicators, Kiss Smiley developed data driven narratives based on the results.